welcome back to our YouTube channel where we talk about working, playing, eating, sleeping, and everything you want to know about the greater Fredericksburg area. That not only includes the Fredericksburg area, Spotsylvania, Stafford County, but also Northern Virginia, Fairfax, Reston, all those areas. And in today's video, we're going to be talking about the pros and the cons of living in Northern Virginia. So, having lived in Northern Virginia, I can share a lot of different stories with you guys. So if you're thinking about moving and relocating to the greater Fredericksburg area, make sure that you tap the subscribe button and click the little bell so you get notified of all the videos that we're putting out weekly to let you guys know about the different communities, the pros, the cons, the good, the bad, the ugly, everything that there is unraveled, explained about living in these different areas. But today's video, we're just talking about the pros and the cons of living in Northern Virginia. So having lived in Northern Virginia and grew up there most of my teenage and younger years, I would say, just because it's been a while and I've moved around town. But I remember being in Fairfax County in Northern Virginia area, and the infrastructure there was just one road, and seriously, it was Tyson's Corner Mall was the only mall that was actually anywhere in sight. Now they've got Tyson's Corner Mall, you've got the Fair Oaks Mall, and lots of other shops that have come into place, and the infrastructure, the roads have widened. There's just not one road that's going down Shirley Gate and back again, but there's lots of different ways to get to and from all the different shopping and everything that there has to offer in the Fairfax, Northern Virginia area. So I wanted to tell you guys a little story because this is how crazy it's gotten over the years. And you might be coming from a little town, and you know the population in the Northern Virginia area is like over 2.5 million, and that's according to niche.com. That's a lot of people in the Northern Virginia area. That also covers a whole lot, but you've got so many different nationalities, so many different cultural, international. It's just America's melting pot is what Northern Virginia has become, and I absolutely love it. But the infrastructure and everything that's taken place over the years in the Fairfax County, it got to the point where I lived in between a high school and a large university, and it just got to the point where it was 15 minutes for me, depending upon what time of day, to actually get out of my driveway. I think that's absolutely crazy. That's just getting out of my driveway. A lot of people say, gosh, the traffic in Northern Virginia is crazy. Well, I think what's even crazier is just because where I lived, it was just nuts just trying to get out of the driveway. There was no stop sign, street lights where either side of the street you would get a red light or a green light and give you an opportunity. No, you had to learn to be a very aggressive driver to get out if you wanted to get to work on time or get your kids to school. So things have changed. Like I said, the infrastructure has changed. They've widened roads, and they've just done so many improvements over the years. I mean, I'm talking about back in the early 80s, not early 80s, the late 80s. Now I'm dating myself. But anyway, we're talking about the pros and the cons of living in Fairfax County, and I think one of the really great things about the Fairfax County, according to niche.com, and there's tons of other sites out there, but according to niche.com, there's Fairfax County school systems, they're above average. So I know we're working with a lot of buyers, and they want to know, hey, what are the school systems out there? Well, there's a great website besides niche.com. It's called greatschools.org. So if you're wanting to compare where your kids are going to school now in Fairfax County or any of these other counties or anywhere in Virginia, you just plug in your old school and the new school, and you can find out some statistics that will help you make a decision about where you actually want to raise your family and stuff. But overall, Fairfax County school systems, according to niche.com and some of these other websites, they're just saying that they're above average. Check it out for yourself, but I think that is definitely a pro. I put it on the top of the list because we get that question asked so much, and that also brings us to the pro number 2 is the education. In Fairfax County, according to niche.com, because we got to get our information from somewhere, so we make sure that we're getting you guys some reliable information. But you can look it up for yourselves. But not only are the schools above average, but the education of the people that actually live in Fairfax, Northern Virginia area is much higher in regards to their degree of education. So there's just probably, I'd say, about 30% is what I saw on niche.com, depending upon which county in Fairfax you went to. 30% of people that live in Fairfax County actually have their master's degree or a higher education PhD or so forth. So it makes sense because we do have a lot of we have the universities, we've got a lot of hospitals, and a lot of other high high positions that would need you to have at least a master's or a PhD. So I think the schools and the education, it's a great, two of the pros that you have here in the Fairfax County area. And now I'm going to get to a con. And I know a lot of people say, oh, I know what she's going to be talking about. She's going to be talking about that traffic. Because if you've done a little bit of research, I'm sure every video that you've ever watched, or if this is your first time, I'm going to let you know that traffic is a thing here. And what I mean by it's a thing, it's a commuter town. So everybody's trying to get into DC. They live on the outskirts of DC just because of the price point and the lifestyle and things that they want to do and where they want their children to go to school and all these things. It's the work style and the lifestyle that I've talked about so much in some of my other videos, and trying to find that perfect home for you. We put all this into place and try to find out from you, what are you looking for? Is it the schools and the education, or is it the leisure lifestyles? But the traffic really does come into play, so you have to know when to leave, when not to leave, and or there's actually some commuter options for you. They've got these lanes called the HOV, and we've got the Easy Pass, and I'll put a link in the description below so you guys can check those out a little bit more. There are some costs that are involved in the Easy Pass. They give you a little white little box. You stick it in your windshield. You pay a certain amount for the box initially, and then monthly you just put money on it, and you're able to, when the traffic patterns are the way that they're going in and then coming home, north and south, depending upon where you're living, it'll cost you a couple bucks, and it might cost you $100 a week for the HOV, the Easy Pass, and all that good stuff. Then you also have the VRE. So there are, as you can see, lots of different options. The slug, let's see. Lost my train of thought here for a second. But besides the slugs, you're probably like, what's a slug? That's where you basically go to a certain location and you wait for a car to pull up, and you just pile in, and then you go. Most of it goes to the Pentagon or the Quantico. Not so much nowadays, just because of COVID and all the restrictions. I think they've kind of put a hold on that, but there are so many different options. You still have van pools, commuter lots where you meet and you get in a van, so you driving with the same people every single day. Which is a good thing instead of a slug line. I had a neighbor that she loved a slug. It was her and her girlfriend. They went together, so it was safe for them. They knew the car, and they took precautions and stuff. So for me, the traffic's a con, but it could be a pro for you if you're wanting to get on one of these commuter van pools or something, so you can read or do whatever you need to do while going to work and make the best and the most of your time, instead of being the person that's watching out, driving in traffic and stuff like that. So that takes us to another pro, and that is the convenience of the location of Northern Virginia. So because you're so close to Alexandria, Annandale, and DC, you can go to the wharf, you can go downtown to Georgetown. There's just so many different attractions. I'll put a link below, because the laundry list of different things to do and how convenient everything is. I mean, You can get to DC on a normal day. I'm not talking about a Saturday or a Sunday, but a normal day without traffic, the commuter times where people would be going to work from 6 in the morning till about 8, or from about 3 o'clock till about 6 o'clock in the evening. You can pretty much get there in about 30 to 45 minutes. So it gives you options to do different things, to see different things, the history, the monument, everything down in DC. Like I said, I think it's a pro. Just having that location is really, really great. Now we're going to a con. You're probably like, okay, Barb, what's going on? We're going from pros and cons and pros and cons. But I want you guys to kind of see a little bit of what's good and what's bad, in my opinion. And having lived in Northern Virginia for many, many years, I know that things have changed. Things will change over time. So this is my perspective on how I used to see Fairfax County and how I see it now, because I still have family members that live that way, and they just love it, and they deal with the traffic or not deal with the traffic because they know when to come and to go, and they've got the little easy pass even if they're not working, as a convenience. If the traffic gets stopped up, they can just hop on and it's no big deal. But the cost of living in Fairfax County, so I say it's a con because if you go a little bit further south compared to Prince William County, which I've done another pros and cons video, you're looking at a higher cost of living. And you can look at the national average on niche.com, Fairfax County, Northern Virginia area. It's above normal for the cost of living, and that mainly for the housing, because the average sales price in not only Prince William County, but also Prince William County is actually starting to be considered Northern Virginia, and so is Stafford County, because it's just so widespread. Just the population has just grown, so they've kind of gone down a little bit in the south and considering it Northern Virginia as well, as opposed to years ago that was not considered part of Northern Virginia. Northern Virginia was basically Fairfax on up to Alexandria, Annandale, Reston, McLean, and all those great places up north. But we're talking about Fairfax County and the cost of living and the average sales price for a home, and the average is close to $600,000. So that's for a single family home in the majority of locations. And sure, you could find a home that's cheaper than that, or a townhome that's cheaper than that, or more expensive, definitely more expensive, because a lot of the homes are millions of dollars. But on average, you still can find some stuff under $500,000. It's going to be an older home. It's probably not been remodeled, and it's not as close to the Washington, D.C. Line as maybe as you like it, but you might get a little bit more house the further south you go. So cost of living, that is a con to me, because I think if you're not working or you're not having to commute, you can actually move down south and get a house for probably $100,000, $150,000, maybe even $200,000, depending upon how far south you're willing to travel, because you're not commuting. So depending upon your lifestyle and your work style and what you're looking to do, some of these things that I'm talking about, it might be a pro or a con in my opinion or my perspective, but you might see it from another perspective, and what I say is a con might be a pro for you, or what I say is a con might be a pro. So we just take it all with a grain of salt when we're talking about pros and cons, but I wanted to let you guys know from experience living in the Fairfax County area, all these things, from traffic to housing to schools to education to entertainment, you name it, it's out there. So it's a great place to live. Remember that I'm doing videos every single week, and tap that subscribe button, hit the little bell so you get notified of the new videos that I'm putting out every single week. And if there's a neighborhood that you would like me to do a driving tour of, or a vlog, just comment below. Just let me know. If there's a pros and cons of a particular area that you want, just let me know. Just comment below. That's what I'm here for, because I'm working with people that are moving and relocating to the greater Fredericksburg area, and I absolutely love it. We're getting phone calls and text messages and emails from people all the time that are moving and relocating in and out of the area as far as Turkey. Yes, we've had several clients. One's already come in from Turkey, another one's coming in probably in another 6 months, but they're moving and relocating from all over the place. We love showing them around and letting you know what is going on in town. That's why we do these videos every week. And we also, if you're thinking about coming to town, but you're about 6 months or maybe a year or two later, we have a discovery tour guide package for you. If that is of interest to you, just comment below, send us a message, or just pick up the phone and give us a call, and we'll get that into your hands and tell you all about that. We also do Zoom calls for those of you that are looking to move and relocate here under that 6-month period. And we talk to you about the process and some pros and cons and things that you need to get in order. And I've done other videos on that as well, because when you're moving and relocating from another state or another area, you got to think about the movers and the daycare and all these other little things that are really important if you want to have a smooth transaction and a smooth move. So I look forward to meeting you in person, hopefully one day soon. And I'm Barbara Jennings.